What's up, guys and gals? We're back with session 3 in the series on online marketing for motivated sellers. In the first session, we really talked about the mindset shift, how the market's shifting, and the evergreen marketing model. Those are going to be critical to go to if you have not checked them out first. Number 2, we built upon that and we said, now how do we actually build this authority hub? How do we transition from a website, just a traditional website, to an authority hub? And then what are the elements that should be on that to make it convert high? I asked you the question, how many leads and deals are you okay with losing every single year from an underperforming website? You write that number down, hopefully the number is 0, and we're gonna help you to make that number close to 0 in session 2. Session 3 now is, now that you've got that authority hub launched, how do we get it ranked high in Google? And so we're gonna be focusing on kind of SEO 101, the basics of search engine optimization and how to get your website ranked higher in Google. Now, if you're already an advanced person who already knows SEO, you might get a couple tidbits in this section. Amazing, go through it. I think it'll add value to your life and your business. But this is really particular for people who are earlier in their journey that just really wanted to know, how does it work and what do we do with it? Or the things we're going to be going into in this section really are why SEO and evergreen marketing is so darn powerful. Okay, why it's so powerful, why it's growing each year. We're going to look at some of the data and some of the stats. Number 2, we're going to review the 261 formula. Remember, that whole thing is going to be the thread, the string throughout this entire series, because it's the mindset shift that we need to have in order to have success with any of this online marketing. And then we're going to walk through how search engines actually work versus the way that people probably think they work, what keywords your motivated house sellers are typing into Google, and we'll show you some ways to find the keywords that you can go after to get in front of the most motivated prospects, whether they're house sellers or land sellers or cash buyers or tenants. I use the internet to attract tenants and to grow my Airbnbs as well. And then we're going to go through the 3 basic keys to really rank your website high in Google. Let me dive into this slide. And this is a screenshot from actual data that's pulled out of our analytics system for a period of time just recently. And you can see that big orange box that we put around that side of it, that's organic search. That means that's people who physically went to Google, they typed in a search phrase on their cell phone or on their desktop or iPad, and then they found one of our clients' websites. Okay, and you can see it's usually around that number 2, number 3 most it's the highest volume by traffic source across our 10,000 plus websites in the real estate investor space. But what you see on the other side of it is by far it's our highest converting, and it's the source that brings in the most volume of leads. Even though there might be more traffic coming in from someone who does a direct type in of someone's URL that might come from a direct mail piece or something like that, organic by far has a higher conversion rate. And that's why it's so effective and you're attracting more motivated people. Just as a reminder, the organic part of your SEO results are kind of this green line. It's that green momentum building area. It's because it's slow at the start. It's like that rocket ship that we described in section 2, where we said there's a lot of energy that goes into it at the start, but then you pick up momentum, then it just takes off, and it basically kind of runs itself after you really get momentum up there. And then the 261 formula. In that first 2 months, it's really building that website out, that authority hub that we had mentioned before. We're going to show you how to do the right keyword optimization on your website. And then really from month 3, month 6, month 8, month 12, it's starting to do those backlinks a little bit more, okay? And we're going to show you what that means and how to build that momentum. At the 6-month mark, kind of have that rankings sprout. We call it a rankings sprout, where it's a lot of work that first 6 months, like I said, without a lot of activity. You might not be getting any new leads from it if you're starting from scratch, but around month 4, around month 6, you start to see this one ranking that was sitting at the bottom of page 2, and if you've been doing the right things we're going to be teaching in this section, all of a sudden it pops up to the bottom of page 1 or the middle of page 1, and you start to get your first leads. And then it starts to grow from there. Around that 1-year mark is where momentum kicks in. And like we said, your work goes down as your results go up. The reason, just to re-cement this before we dive into the tips that you can execute and understand SEO better, the reason we focus on search engine optimization, ranking well in Google, or what we call evergreen marketing, is because the quality of those leads is so much higher, and you can get in front of a flood of people that are continually going to Google, and that flood is growing each and every year. It's not shrinking, it's growing. And 1 in 10 to 1 in 15 of these leads turns into a deal when done right to a high converting website. So when people have a question or a problem, where do most of us go? Most of us don't go to our friend across the street. Most of us don't go to our mailbox and go, man, I hope my problem is answered in this mailbox. Most of us don't go to Facebook to answer our problems. Now, we might be able to have our problems solved in those spots, but that's not where we're naturally going to get our questions answered. Where we go is we pick up the darn phone and we Google it, right? How many times a day are you Googling things right now? How many times a day do you pick up that phone or go to your computer or pick up the iPad and then you start to Google a question? Best restaurants in whatever area or nearby me. This specific property manager or financial planner reviews or whatever it is. We're always Googling stuff. So we don't go to Facebook, we don't go to Instagram, our mailbox, we go to Google, right? And these are some of the things that a seller might type into Google. They might go to their browser and literally type "sell my house" or "sell my house fast." Many times they'll put in their actual location, "sell my house fast, Dallas." Or another phrase that we found is really common for motivated house sellers is "get cash for my house in Dallas," or "sell my house for cash." Okay, another phrase is "houses for sale on the river in blah," right? That's a very niche phrase, but that might be a phrase that a retail buyer might search in Google. Okay, if I'm a real estate agent, or if you're a hybrid investor agent and you wanted to pick up listings as well, you might go after a phrase like that if that river is a niche that you want to focus in on. Or if you're an agent, best real estate agents in, or if you're whatever your company name is, it might be your company name reviews. If you're doing any level of marketing, people are searching for your company name. And I'll show you guys right now on the screen. Let's just say it's Express Home. Right here you can see Express Home Services, Express Home Buyers. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, Express Home Buyers. You guys look at this, reviews, Express Home Buyers reviews, Express Home Buyers BBB. This is a bigger company. People are actively searching for these things to vet and verify companies to make sure that they want to work with them. And then what do you see over here? You see really good credibility. They've built up their Google listing, which is something I'd highly suggest you do. But it's really important to rank really well for your company name plus the word reviews. And it might look like this. So if you were to go to Google and type in "sell my house fast Houston," and in this screenshot that I'm sharing, you see a few websites at the top. Those are all from one of our clients named Tyler Ford, who he's an agent investor hybrid. He does between 3 and 5 deals every single month from evergreen organic traffic just like this. People typing into Google, "sell my house fast Houston," or "sell my house for cash," or "we buy houses Tucson," or any of those phrases. He's put in the work. He got his rankings pop around month 6. He got consistency. And now he's 4 years in and gets 3 to 5 deals a month from this marketing method. And he reported the other day, we were on a call with him, and he said, "I just sent in my last check to pay off my last payment for a property." All of his rental properties are fully paid off now, and he's got a portfolio well over $2 million of equity sitting in there. And all those properties came from this, which is really, really cool. So that's how sellers search. They're going to click one of those links and they're going to land on a website like this. And the website needs to be set up to perform. It needs to be set up to convert like we talked about in section 2. If your website's not set up to convert high, you're going to be taking all this traffic and then you're going to be getting in front of them, but not moving them through that life cycle to work with you. They're going to bounce back to Google, find someone else whose website delivers the content, the trust, the credibility that they need to want to work with you. And then they're going to submit it. And then it's going to look like this. If you're a Carrot customer, it might look like this, where it's going to show you where the lead came from. Hey, it came from a Google search. Here's when it came in. And here's exactly the page that it came in on. And this goes into that tracking conversation that we had talked about in video 2, of making sure that you have good tools to track what's working in your marketing so you can keep doing the stuff that's working and stop doing the stuff that's not. Okay, that's how you get off that hamster wheel. Let's kind of talk now about how SEO works, because I know when I first got started as a marketer, back in 2007, I knew nothing about search engines other than it's the spot that I went and to put in things and find answers, usually for college papers. And I also learned on Google that I never ever clicked what is that button? I feel lucky button. I've never clicked it. I don't know if you guys have ever clicked it. I always wanted to go there and just do a search to find many options to choose from. Very rarely do people click the I feel lucky button, because you want to have options. We want to explore. We want to find the right solution. And when someone's in that searching mind, they want to actively see content. This is the difference between Google PPC or Facebook PPC and SEO, is when people are actively in the mode of searching, they want to search and find content. They're in the information gathering mode. We had a situation at our house a couple of years ago where we had bats get in the attic, and the bats were in the attic. They were scratching on the walls on the other side of my son's bedroom, and we're like, we got to get these things out of the attic. They're obviously pooping and peeing in there. What the heck do we do? The first thing I did is I picked up Google and I typed up how to get bats out of an attic. okay? And then I kept on going down this rabbit hole of all of the different search phrases that I could type in, and I'll give you guys an example, okay? These are called suggested searches. Suggested searches are a great way to find out what your prospects are searching into Google, and you can create content or pages on your website about those topics. That's a free tool, a free way to find out what people are typing into Google. These are your keywords. So if I was looking for how to get bats out of my attic, I typed it in, and then I found some people advertising for it, and I went and read the first few websites here. And then at the bottom, it gave me all these related searches. It basically, Google saying, hey, there's these other things you might be interested in that other people are typing in. Guys, this is gold. This is exactly where we want to grab our keywords from, copy and paste them onto a document or something, and then we'll show you what to do with them here in a second. But I started to click through all of these. I clicked through bat removal, do it yourself. I clicked through how to get rid of bats outside your house. I clicked through all those. And the website that I actually engaged in and filled out a form on was the website that was the most robust, that had the most content, that actually answered my questions. It wasn't the ones that were just landing pages. The ones that were just landing pages, I bounced from and went back to the Google search results to find the ones that had the information that solved my problem, that were valuable and useful to me, okay? So that's why SEO is so important with having great content attached to it. Search engines work in this way. You put a page up online, so you might do a Google search like that, find some keywords, you create a page, you put it up on your website or your Carrot Authority Hub, and then Google says, hey, I found a new website. Now, how does Google find your website or your web page? There's something called an XML sitemap or a sitemap. You can add them if you have your own website. I ask your web person to do that. And every time a new page is added on your website, that sitemap is updated and it pings Google. It says, hey, Google, there's a new page in this website. And then Google's always spidering around the internet, going through links on websites to find other websites. So remember that, because that's gonna be really important as we go on here in a bit. And then they find your web page. They say, this is what the web page is about. I think it's either high quality or not high quality. And there's other factors we'll talk about. Then it decides where it should rank in Google. This is gonna get techie. So if any of this is over your head, don't worry about it, okay? Just recognize that this is a topic that you're interested in, you're learning on, and don't pressure yourself into having to become an expert on this. We're just introducing you to the topic. If you love it, dive into it more after the session, dive into the more advanced stuff. Here's 3 basic tips for ranking high in Google, okay? So SEO, in other words. The first thing is you have to nail that website, or what we call an authority hub here at Carrot. It's basically the techie stuff. It's the tech stack. It's making sure that your website loads fast. Okay, that's how the website is built. Go to that web developer to make sure that they know what they're doing, so they're making it load fast. Most don't. Most websites load really slow. You can put it into free tools to see how fast your website loads. And then there's the website structure. Okay, the website structure is how the actual code is built. Is it simple? Is it easy for people to go through? Is the content structured in a way that's simple for people to absorb? When they're looking at the navigation bar at the top, is it in a make sense order? Is the content structured in the right way? The second part of SEO is really the content on that website, or on-page optimization. What do you do for that? Well, it's the basics of writing content that Google likes, that Google thinks is relevant to search phrases that your best sellers or buyers are typing in. We'll show you a couple tips there in this session. And then the third part of it is other websites referencing your website, or in other words, backlinks. Okay, so backlinks are how Google ends up finding your website. And also backlinks are kind of like votes. It's kind of like a vote for your website from another reputable website, and Google then goes, whoa, this other website is linking to yours. It's kind of a vote of confidence, and it bumps it up there in the search rankings. So the first part of it is your authority hub, or that website, right? This is the tech stack. Now, what should you think about with the tech stack? Well, the first thing to think about with an SEO optimized website is it should really load fast. It should load in under 2.5 seconds according to Google. Now, what does that mean? There's tools out there that you guys and gals can use to go test the page speed of your website. So if you were to go to Google and type up like GT metrics as an example, there's a great website with a free tool called GT Metrics, METRIX. You can put in your website right here, and it's going to end up bringing in your page speed on there. You click the button, it's going to do the analysis on it, and it's going to tell you the page speed on it. So you want to be under 2.5 seconds ideally. Now, if you add a bunch of videos, if you add a bunch of really big pictures, or if the website just isn't built correctly, you might see a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 second load time, which really decreases your conversion rates in a big way. And Google looks at page speed now as one of the ranking factors. The other thing that I mentioned earlier is a proper sitemap. Now, most websites come with a sitemap today, so it's not really something that you have to worry a lot about. Make sure you ask your web developer if there's a sitemap attached to your website, which is basically just this behind the scenes piece of code that has a link to every one of your pages on your website so Google can quickly find it and organize your content well. Make sure your content is structured in a make sense way. Like we said, that when people are on your website, visiting your website, the content makes sense. When they click on this link, it actually takes them to the content about that link. If you're looking at the navigation bar, it's ordered in a way that people are going to actually engage in the content. It's a good thing if people click around. So when you hear things on the paid ad side of things like Facebook, people say you don't want people to click around. Guys, with SEO, you do want people to click around. Google looks at that as a vote of confidence of, man, this website must be really good. They did a search in Google. They clicked this website and they clicked the other pages on the website. They've been on the website for 15 minutes and they visited 7 pages. Google says, man, that must be a good quality website, because if it wasn't, they would bounce off that website and go back to the search results. Okay, so robust content that makes sense, get people to click and keep them on your website. That's a really good thing. You want to have clean and unbloated code. I'm not a codie, I'm not a techie, so I don't know what that even looks like, but I know bloated code makes your website load slow. Really clean code makes it load fast. One really good tip on picking a domain name, we get this question a lot. Should I have my domain name be an exact keyword in my market? If I'm in Dallas and I want to go after the keyword phrase, sell my house fast Dallas, do I get an advantage by my keyword being sellmyhousefastdallas.com? Well, there is an advantage there for sure that you can get, but if you go look at the search results, you're going to find tons of people who are ranked really high in Google where their domain name has almost nothing to do with the keyword. So if you have a keyword that's an exact match, or if you have a domain name that's an exact match of that keyword, amazing. That can be a good thing. That can give you some extra boost. But if you don't have a domain name with your keywords in it, that's fine too. Always aim for a .com. Don't go for .net, .co, .whatever. Always go for a .com. A good example with this, we have a client in Louisville, and then there's another investor that's not a client in a different market. And our client in Louisville is actually getting deals in this other market on a quarterly basis because that other person in that other market is doing direct mail, and their company names are almost the same. They're literally the same company name. So that person's direct mail is actually driving people to the web, and they're searching for the .com versus the .net, which is this person's domain name. So by owning the .com, our client has gotten $80, $90, $100,000 in extra profits this year from other people's marketing. So the .com is a big value for you guys. So now let's talk about your content. So you got your website up, it's fast, it loads quickly. Really dig in with someone who knows what they're doing there, because most web developers make things look pretty, they don't make things perform. Now we need to say, let's optimize the content on that web page. So 8 tips for content Google loves. The first thing is pick keywords that your prospects are actually searching in Google and name your pages based on those phrases. So as an example on here, if you're in Boston, and I'm going to scroll to the bottom here, these things down here, these related searches are exactly what people are actually typing into Google. Google says enough people type these in on a monthly basis that we're going to show you this, that you might be thinking the same thing. Okay, so cash for houses near me. Okay, sell my house fast, Massachusetts. So you can see here, even though they're in Boston, most of the searches it look like are actually coming in at the state level. So if you don't have a state page, if you don't have a page for Sell My House Fast Massachusetts, you should probably create one. So what's the next thing? Robust written content for your user, not for Google. A lot of people want to write their content for Google and they cram their content with keywords. You have to have some keywords in there to tell Google what the content's about, but you don't want to cram it and make it look unnatural. If you are reading your article and it sounds like a robot reading it, or doesn't feel like a human would enjoy that article, don't write it that way. Write it for the human, make it something they would actually enjoy to read. Ranking pages. So what is a ranking page? You don't really need to get your FAQ page ranked in Google as an example. You don't really need to get your contact us page potentially as a high ranking thing in Google maybe. Okay, you want your homepage ranking, you want your location pages ranking, you want your about page ranking really high, you want your reviews page ranking. So all of those pages should have at least 500 words in them. If they don't have at least 500 words, then what happens is Google doesn't have enough content in there to make it a robust piece of content in their index, so you're usually not going to get it ranked well. And that's one of the first things I look at. If people are having a hard time ranking their website in Google, I look at their keywords first, Is it a good keyword? What does their title tag look like I just showed you? And then number two, I say, do they have at least 500 to 800 words in this page? Oftentimes they don't. Don't overuse the keyword over and over again. Make it natural. Have a clear call to action on every page. Once someone gets done reading your content, you want to have a call to action on the bottom of every page. Hey, want a cash offer, want to look at investment property, submit your information. Link relevant content to other pages. So if you did a blog post, then go in there and go, oh, there's a phrase in here that talks about selling your house in Boston. I have a page called Sell My House in Boston. I'm going to link that word in this article to my Sell House Boston page. That's a good thing. It's actually telling Google, hey, look what this page is about, and that helps your website rank higher too. Add images, add videos from YouTube, put your YouTube embeds in there, okay? And those types of things are gonna help really tell Google what this page is about. It's gonna add robustness to the content. It's gonna keep people on your page, which Google really, really loves. And the last thing here is avoid creating multiple pages after the same keywords. Okay, there's a lot of our clients who will create 5 different pages that are going after the same keyword. You don't want to do that. It starts to cannibalize that keyword, and Google won't know which one on your website it should actually raise up in Google. So just have one page for each keyword, and then kill the other ones that are making it confusing for Google. After you launch those pages, give it time then. It's not gonna happen immediately. If you're in a small market, you could get a ranking pretty quickly. You can get a ranking within weeks if you're in a small market under 200,000 people possibly. But if you're in a big market, 500,000 people, 1 million, 2 million, you're likely gonna need to see a 3, 4, 5, 6 month period before that grows, like we're showing on the graphic, and then you start to see the consistency. So we're gonna wrap it up with this last section here in the last couple minutes. Off-page optimization, which means you've gotten your website launched, you have a good domain name, you have the right content on that web page, it's got the good keywords, it's robust, people like it, Google likes it, it's a high fast loading website, you've got some of your articles linking to each other to tell Google, hey, go check this thing out on my website. Now we need to look outside of our website and say, let's start to build up the credibility of this website in Google's eyes from off-page stuff or things from other websites. So what is a backlink? Well, a backlink is just simply like this graphic shows, when website A, meaning someone else's website, links to your website, which is website B. Okay, they might have an article that they like that they're linking to, or it might be your mortgage broker in town who you say, hey, can we collaborate on a piece of content, and then could I include a link in your article to my website? Or it might be the local chamber of commerce that you joined, and in their directory listing, it's got a link to your website. Those are all good things. Or you might have got mentioned in a news story, and you said, hey, would you mind just tossing the link to my website in that news story? Those are all really good things. And backlinks are important because, like this study showed, 99% of all top 50 results had at least one backlink pointing to their website, meaning you pretty much have to have backlinks pointing to your website to get ranked in Google. Okay, you have to. 77.8% of the top results had at least one link pointing to the page, that specific page. So backlinks are critical to getting ranked in Google, and here's the basic ways that you can start that here in the next 30 to 60 days. So the first place I would start to look to get backlinks as soon as you launch that website, maybe in that first 60 days, is do what we call local business listings. Okay, local business listings are also called citations, kind of a silly little word for it. But if you just think about it as local business listing websites that are just out there, there's a bunch of them out there. Better Business Bureau, Google My Business, anywhere you can set up a business listing for your website online. What we want to do is aim to build maybe 30 to 50 of those in that first 90 days. 30 to 50 citations from reputable local business listing websites. Now, how do you find these websites? You can literally just go to Google and type up citation building service, okay? Building service SEO. And there's some great services out there. There's one called The Hoth. There's another one called White Spark. There's a service called Yext, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's a really good service. So there's a lot of services out there to help you build citations. Build 30 to 50 in that first 60 days. Number two, you can set up a free account. I was literally doing this morning for my own website, and at helpareporterout.com. Just do a Google search for Help a Reporter, and then you go to helpareporter.com. You click I'm a source, and then you opt in, you put in your information. You get a daily email from Help a Reporter Out with a whole list of asks from real journalists around the country. You're gonna get a daily email, look in it, take you 5 minutes to say, is there anything relevant in here that I can reply back to that reporter as an expert? Then they'll cite me, and oftentimes they'll include a link to your website. That you can find amazing opportunities for backlinks in there, probably some of the best ones, and it's completely free. Okay, that's probably 30 minutes a week, maybe an hour a week. Another thing is if you have other websites, let's say you own an HVAC company or you're part of a nonprofit or something like that and your business supports that nonprofit, go to that other website, especially if it's reputable, and find a good logical spot to link back to your new real estate investor website. Okay, it could be the about page and say, hey, we also own XYZ properties, and then link up the words XYZ properties to your real estate site. It could be your other real estate site. Let's say you have a cash buyer site and a seller site. You should link up your cash buyer site to your seller site on your about page or in a piece of content. So link your sites together in natural ways. Another one is to analyze your competitors. I've got a tool popped up here called Keywords Anywhere. It's a complete free tool. You can pay for it. It's what's called a browser extension on Chrome. And so I have Keywords Anywhere, and you can see this little interesting data on the side over here of a Google search. It's not normally there. And then you can see some interesting data down here at the bottom of these that are not normally there. Okay? So I can look at this and it'll tell me how many backlinks this website has. This website has a lot. It's over 3,500 backlinks. It's ranked #1 in Google in the Atlanta market. Now, do you have to get 3,500 backlinks? No, I'd actually suggest that you don't, because there's probably a lot of spam links in there, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scroll down, I'm gonna look at all the top 10. Okay, this one is 8,900. There's probably a lot of spam links in there. My guess is this website's probably gonna be out of the search results in 12 to 24 months because of the spam backlinks. It's a lot, it's more than they need. Okay, this one's getting a little better, 1.25 thousand. Okay, down here, 20. Guys, look at this. This one's on page 1 in Google and has 20 backlinks is all. It must have really good content, really relevant content. There's only 20 backlinks on there and they're ranked on page 1 in Google. 952, 325, 184. Use a tool like this to look at your competitors and say, what will it take to get on page 1? This proves you don't have to get a lot of them. Okay, get 30, 40, 50 of them through citations, get some from your other websites, and then start to build some in a really logical, makes sense way that Google likes. Another way is never buy links. A lot of people will go to a service like Fiverr.com or Upwork or something. They'll do a search for an SEO service. Guys, never do that. Okay, never go and buy a bulk set of backlinks from any of those services. A lot of them say, we'll get you 800 links in 48 hours or 2,000 links or 5,000 links or whatever. Run away from it like the plague, because what happens is they go out there and they automate all these links. Google can see that it's not natural. It might give you a ranking bump in the short term, but then long term Google's gonna catch on. It's actually gonna lower your search result and gonna make it harder to get back up there. So don't go buy those big bulk sets of links, because they can actually penalize your website. Do it naturally. Build 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a month. By the end of the year, you've got 100 to 200 amazing good backlinks, and it only took you a couple hours a month. Okay, so that is the quick run through what to do on the SEO side of things, on the backlink side. I know it's a lot, but in this section, guys and gals, we covered a few things. We covered why SEO is important. We covered and reviewed the 261 formula, which is the mindset to have with evergreen marketing. We talked about how search engines work. We talked about what keywords motivated sellers are searching for and how you can actually go out there and find the keywords. What we're gonna do to end this, guys, is finish setting up that authority hub. Get robust content on there, okay? Find the keywords that your sellers are typing and make sure that they're optimized well. Dive into our other trainings to optimize it at a deeper level. Determine how you're gonna spend your time and invest it. Are you gonna spend the time learning and executing? Or are you gonna spend the time doing your business and hiring people to do these things for you? And then last, guys, set out to build that business of freedom and impact. This entire 3-part series has been to help you get off of that marketing hamster wheel. By the time you've gone through this series and started to execute it, you're gonna have a better idea of how to build a consistent, momentum building, predictable lead generation engine that can build momentum over time, get you off that hamster wheel, and attract the highest motivated sellers, the highest profit deals, because these sellers want a solution. They're seeking out a solution from you. And to get off that marketing hamster wheel so you can finally build the business that gives you the freedom that you want to make the impact that you've been desiring. So guys, hopefully this has been valuable for you. A lot of these topics we have way deeper education on coming soon, and just continue to dive into the masterclass community in here and grow on your real estate journey. We're here with you. Let us know if we can help you out at all. Now, my name is Trevor Mauch, the CEO of Carrot.com, where we help thousands of the top real estate investors and agents to be able to dominate the internet, attract more motivated sellers, and close more deals so you can finally gain that freedom and impact.